things which we need for you to survive in unemployment. So they don't have even some of the skills which one needs to be able even to be promoted and even to move forward in that particular jobs. We have seen cases even where big politicians are getting jobs for their own youth, but they cannot be sustained in employment. So we are talking about the current status, which which is not very okay, it is not very comparable, and now we want to have this skills gap addressed so as we have the desired state. And it is from this that we have the Youth Empowerment Program, which came up to be able to address these gaps and ask questions why our youth not able to be absorbed in the job market, despite the fact that we need them, despite the fact that there are vacancies. How come they cannot get these jobs, and how come they cannot be able to sustain the jobs? And then one of the programs which we have been dealing with in the KO is life skills training, whereby the youth are exposed to day-to-day life skills. We find that some of the youths, because of where they're coming from, they don't know even the basic skills, like just saying thank you. If they annoy the youth, maybe just to say sorry. So you find that, yes, you have this youth who is quite educated and who even has, maybe can be able to deliver, but just a small difference in the office cannot make this youth be sustained in that office. Then we have the core business training. Of course, we are always talking about, are you doing business? We are talking about business because at the moment, we don't have the youths, we don't have, our economy cannot be able maybe to accommodate so many youths in employment. So we need them to do business. Among us also, because even as we are some of those people maybe might need business, but we have the basic business skills, especially when it comes to technology. Do we have, can we be able even to advertise our goods, our wares online? Can we be able to use the social media maybe to even sell to market our goods? So these are some of the issues which we have been addressing in the project. And then from there we had the JSST. JSST is job specific skills training, whereby over and over, Kenya has so many youths have been going for degrees, and then we had this situation whereby the basic or the hands-on skills were not being addressed, like plumbing and all that. So it is after that the solutions we had. So we came up with a life skills training, a life skills training manual, which includes communication, teamwork, and then there's emotional skills, how to manage stress, personal values, and then professional knowledge. So as we are here, I'm sure you're asking, why am I saying this? It is because by the end of the day, as much as we are talking all this, we need to have all this addressed for us to be able to move from one, to be able to move to the next level. And maybe as I finish, I'll be able to tell you how this is working with this, with where we are today. Then of course from there, we have the core business skills training, which also takes the youth through employment, how to look for a job, how to write the CV. Then there's the financial training, planning, also business startups. All these the youth are taken through. And it is from this that the youth can be able to do some basic business. And as of course the Diaspora team, much of the funding which we have had through NGOs, through the CBOs, through the donors, much of it comes from the outside Kenya, and most of these youths end up being given some grants. And by the end of the day, if the youth has not been taken through this, it becomes very difficult for the youth to be able to do much. So in this particular project, we have been doing this training that is for the trainers for JSST. JSST, I think it is job specific skills training, whereby we have been going through the master craftsman path, whereby a youth is attached with a master craftsman. This youth is attached to this a person who is a very good carpenter, and then you have with that carpenter for about 5 months, and then from there you learn the trade, and then by the end of the day, you are able to gain to have the skills. Of course, this is a traditional way of learning, and we have seen it very successful. Then also we have the formal trainers path, and this is why I am here today, because I'm here not now as proximity, but as the institute whom we have been working with, or as a formal trainer, whereby the youth would be trained for 2 months in the class, and then 3 months in internship. So we have been working with the Institute on this for the last, I think, 3 years. So I will take a deed for that. I will go to deed case study, whereby deed has been involved. That is the deed institute has been involved in 9 counties. That is Mandera, Bungoma, Kakamega, Kilifi, Kisii, Mandera, Wajir, Nyandarua, and Machakos. And the deed institute has been able to empower youth with 15 trades. Namely, you can see them. Let me just name them: motor vehicle mechanics, electrical and electronics, hair and beauty, solar, PV technology, food and beverage production, plumbing, ICT, welding, agriculture, carpentry, joinery, beekeeping, photography, motorcycle repair, event management, horticulture, and mobile phone repair. So those are the trainings which Deed Institute has been offering. And from Cycle 5, why I'm writing from Cycle 5, we have, in this project, we have had about 9 cycles, but the interaction which I'm giving as an example here, I've given 3 cycles. In Cycle 5, Deed Institute had 1455 youth, and then Cycle 6 had 1418, Cycle 7 had 954. And this is where now, as maybe people in diaspora and also people who are ready to help Kenya back home, and especially the chapter on the youth, that is where maybe the conversation can also start. How can we be able to help these youth who have been trained? For example, with that case, yes, they have been trained by life skills training, they have been trained core business training, they have been trained through JSST. But how else can we be able to come in since the government, in collaboration with Deed Institute, has been able to offer up to that point? And at this point, the youth are able to be to go through an exam, and they're usually able to qualify or to be awarded a grade 3 certificate. And so the main reason why we do this, that is why we have this training, is to reduce the gap in skills, which we talked about. We also want these youth to start cottage industries and enterprises. We also want to address the issue of unemployment, because some of these youth, they end up being employed, others having self-employed. They also get certification, mostly through NITA. Then also there's youth empowerment in government, in government business, like the tenders and all that. And then of course there is that sparring of the economic growth within the country. So these are some of the testimonials. They're in YouTube. I think we can be, I don't think, do we have time to listen? Okay, so this is one of them.
Came directly for that on in the container mehato el compostiola. So you can in a audio push on the wall. You know, the impact on the top and joint in the home then I went that's going to be available and show them how to try it also. And nothing better than the fact that I'm not here, when you want to for job and I was in the house or cleaning them. So I was thinking of what I do, that's my job and the other thing. So I had to wait in the induction was contract. So came when I was really young, when I felt I'm giving up, then I went again and from then up to now, I'm then Sean or io che mi fa discutere and io non mi piace assolutamente la conclusione di quale la show come lo diventa come because for 2 months then aveva di capote tanto che spesa so in campo a sciolta piena di capitale non mi sembra mi fa tanto di fascino è un partnership no di tenenze alle tue altre con l'economia e space actual then something culinare la business più in realtà la mia sua quello che quella partnership quando uscire uscire queste lessons and when up until this month penelitian on and what we feel some in the ground for the best take that's when they say that
Exactly.
so far so good I can't complain in balance depending on the I think the pressure very much actually in the and there is good the guidance of the so that will move very well and company called events have a Facebook page here we start newsletter the market start and I can tell you for sure customer one group and see why we want to for education on product done yeah you want to know
Okay. Okay, I think there are many testimonials. I was telling Michael this time to have maybe spend so much time on them. Of course, I'm leaving the presentation with Michael. He has a copy. Anyone who is interested can just be able to just check on the presentation with Michael. Yeah, so it is after those success stories, and many youths actually, they are all over the country with those good testimonies of what we have been able to do. Of course, through the partnership of the World Bank and also the trainers. And of course, we have several trainers, and the Institute has been one of the trainers. We have been able to empower so many youths. In all counties, actually, we have been implementing in 17 counties, but we can say there is no county that doesn't have success story. So you can be able to go on and on and on, actually, but I don't think I've put so many of them in this presentation, but we have quite a good number. And it is after, it is because of this that actually we were rated #1. Professor stayed #2, but we were rated #1 by the World Bank. In the country, all the projects which have been funded by the World Bank, we were #1 as the most impactful project. That it is a project which has been able to change livelihood. We have so many cases. Like one time I was in Kwale, and there was this young man who gave a testimony until cried that he has been able to start his own business. And from that business, he has been able to educate the sister and has been able also to have a business for the mother. So this, the government, in collaboration, of course, with the stakeholders, is doing so much on the youth chapter. But you find that this, the youth chapter is quite challenging, especially because of the numbers which we are having for the youth. So we actually need, as stakeholders, being people from diaspora, you are given a chance. And I always say, the primary school you went to, you will never build it. So someone had done something to empower you. So it won't hurt for you, maybe as you invest in personal projects, for you to consider also adopting 10 youths and take them through such a training. And maybe also being able to empower them, such that by the end of the day, they are giving a testimony of where they have been able to come. Because I can tell you the government is not able to take all this, even the county government, and even other of the churches, they are not able to empower all the youth. With the population right now, definitely the youths are the majority, actually 3/4 of our population. So it is the early time that we don't depend on the whites and the others to come and empower our own people, but rather to actually also think of ourselves as Africans, and also as those who have been given the opportunity to be out there and maybe get some little money to also empower our youth. And it is with that background that the government at the moment is trying, we have not started really, and it is not even supposed to be mentioned because we don't have the right paperwork already done. But we are in the process of negotiating and designing a new project, which will be similar to KO, but this time we will have other components like the saving. So we are including NSSF. We are including NSSF to be part of us, whereby this youth, anyway, maybe there is a part which I never said. The youth, when the youth join us at life skills training, we always pay that youth 6,000 per month. That this money is usually paid through the banks. We have been using the bank, we have been using Equity, KCB, and Cooperative. And the reason is because of the widespread of those banks. But right now, I think we are having a conversation whether we can be able also to use M-Pesa because of the other factors also, which we have seen the banks are limited, especially when you go to the northern part of Kenya. So what we are saying is that this stipend which they are given, the 6,000, now in the next project, we have a part of it being saved for them through NSSF, such that, of course, the government is pro saving culture, and even as we want the youth to start saving quite early in their life. We are also having the innovation part, which will also be highly, will also be part of the new project. We also have having social enterprises. We tried it in KO, whereby the social enterprises could be given money, and then they are able to implement some of these areas, or some of the areas, especially the hand-reach youth. These are the young mothers and also the street children, the youth with issues like depression and all that. But this time, actually, we want to take it to the higher level, to scale it up, whereby we now have maybe an organization dealing with technology. We'll give them money, and then they'll be able also to bring to impact the same skills to the youth. So generally, this project, that's why I am not so much there, because it is in the process and we cannot be able to talk about it at this particular time. So way forward, when I was thinking about way forward, like, of course, we now, all of us, we are here as people who are ready to help. So the first one is the trained tools. These youths have already been trained, like I have given the case study of it. Almost over 4,000 youths have been trained. So we would want, some of these youths, they have done plumbing, others, they have done carpentry, others, they have done welding and all that. We would want to have, we have the data of the youths who have done welding under this project, or even under this. So we would want to see how can we come in and provide the trade tools to these youth. Then, of course, there is the training. The government has only been able to give training up to grade 3. And some of these youths are in dire need. I think Professor has been able to interact with some of them. And we can have some, especially those who are really in dire need. We can find a way of coming in and moving them to grade 2, grade 1, and even to a master craftsman. Then, of course, there is incubation, whereby I'm sure we come from different counties. When the moderator was started, I think asked us where we come from. So we can sponsor, like maybe I've given the examples, the counties where he is in. We can be able to sponsor incubation centers in those particular counties. We can also have business development services, whereby you can just decide that these youth in which were under need in Kilifi, I'll be able to be with them and maybe meeting them at particular time, and then you'll be able to also develop and enhance their business, skills. Then, of course, there is the saving culture which is coming in, whereby these youths who have already graduated, you can be able to have them start their savings through, of course, the circles, NSSF, table banking. There are several different ways of bringing those youths together, and already the infrastructure for this is already provided by the government. Then, of course, lastly, we have entrepreneurship, which I have just taken you through. That this is just the entrepreneurship, just from the life skills. They want to address to make sure these youth, even when he gets that business, can be able to solve a problem. These youth, even when employed, can be able to have the skills and can be able even to do communication and all that. So, and then from there, we have the core business, which also addresses the same. So you can also be able to sponsor youths to go through such entrepreneurial courses. So I'm sure, because even if the government comes in, we still need so many youths also helped in this. So I think with that, that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Christine, and probably asking if there is any questions. Christine, just now. Yes. Yes. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that intervention. Thank you for all those questions. Let's put them together and ask during a panel discussion. We'll come in right after our next speaker. And at this point, so at this point, I'm going to invite on the stage the Land Adjudication and Settlement Kilifi, DCC Magarini Sub-County, and is going to speak about the mystifying land acquisition and land office procedures. I think a lot of questions may also come out of this, but again, we have a panel right after. And so welcome, Dr. James Kabal.
Thank you very much. Yes, good afternoon, all of you. That is a very simple topic, but it can be very complicated. My name is, like you have heard, Dr. James Kamau. I'm in charge of education settlement in the whole of Marindi and Magarini. I'm also the rights controller, the whole of the county. With me, we have James Mwenda. He's a member of my staff. I decided to come drag him around, we come together, because I really feel proud to be with you this afternoon. Because it's very rare for us, for example, to come and talk to people of your caliber. Usually we have barazas. I don't know whether you know barazas. What I mean by barazas. So that's usually what we have, and we are comfortable there. So actually, I am going to take you through very briefly on what is land, what is the easy to need, what is this? So to me, we have three types of land in the country. One, we have the public land, or what was previously known as the government land. The government land is owned by the government of Kenya. Then we have the community land. Community land, it's good to differentiate this place. The community land is what you used to call trust land. We have now number three, the private land. And I know this is where your interests are, private land. But before I go to private issues of private land, it's very important that we know what is this public land and how does this public land become private land? How does this trust land or community land end up being private again? Because by the end of the day, private land is supreme. That's everything. It goes back to private land. Everything. Because our interests, that's where they are getting at. Now, we start with the public land or government land. Government land, how does this government, for example, acquire this land? This land from colonial times were called crown. When you got independence, they became private government lands. Government also can acquire land by way of buying. It can buy land. And once the government buys land, it becomes government land or public land. It can also, there are people, when for example, those large scale farmers, Wazungu, when they were going back to their countries, they surrendered the lands back to the government. That one also became government land. There is also compulsory acquisition. The government can decide, hey, we are going to take this land and make it public. And it's your land. And that now again becomes private land, public land. So once these lands are now, they are all public, including the lakes, the rivers, all of them are public lands. So how does it again? How do we convert these public lands to private lands? Very simple. Now, this is very key because you people are investing in areas where there are settlement schemes. So it's good to listen to this one. One, the government can decide this land, which is now public or government land, we are going to make a settlement scheme. A settlement scheme is an area that the government has decided to settle its citizens. And how does it go about it? First of all, it identifies the area, then makes the surveys the area, demarcation is done, and the land now becomes individual parcels. Everybody gets a number. But this land is still government land. Because these parcels, for example, Professor Jenner gets a plot in that scheme. Professor, you have to pay for that land, the government. So until you have done discharge and transfer, that land still belongs to the land. Until you are being discharged. And that's why I want you to take this first. Because you are buying land in settlement schemes. And you find, when you just bought it, you find it has a loan that runs hundreds of thousands. And now you have already, now the deal is done. You can't go back to the person asking, why is no, there is a get money here, you go and buy, you go and pay. So you are left with the baggage of the road to pay the road to the government. Therefore, government land, when it comes to it, through schemes, for example, several schemes, you have to make sure the person you're buying has been cleared or discharged by the settlement partners. Are we clear that point? Now, there is also, we used to have a situation where there were direct allocation of land in the 80s and 20, but they were abused. So this has been suspended. Those who we no longer have direct individual allocation of land in regions, we have been suspended. So that is how you can get, that's why public land can be converted to individual land. Are we understood so far? Now, we have another category of lands that is trust land. Trust land is what is now called community lands. We have community lands, already there is a new act which has been enacted from around 2016, September. All that land that was trust land became community land. And we are going from there to use that act to administer those lands. But before 2016 September, we used to act on Cap 224, Education Act, Capital 84. Adjudication Act. What is adjudication? Adjudication is actually registering the rights of the citizens or the occupant of any particular land. Right? And this is another area I want you to be very careful about. Because I know you're investors. That's why I'm taking you through this. Adjudication, we are still going to the final stages of adjudication using Capital 84. Now, what is this adjudication? Adjudication is an area that has been identified. Mostly by the local people and the requests that their interests in the business. And we go on the ground, see the area, we map it out, and then we go and register all the parcels that are in that area. Once the parcels are registered, again, we give numbers, create maps of that area and the parcels inside. And that's what becomes an education section, and people get their inputs. Here is where you as an investor has to be very careful. Because this land, when it's being registered, is still in the process. And therefore, they are not clean. So the most important thing for you is to make sure that the land is clean in terms of there are no claimants. So I would suggest when you're buying land from an education section, you buy it during objection stage. I'm sorry, maybe I'm losing you now. The process of education is important. There is a community stage, community stage, when you are now doing the actual information. Then there is now again the stage of now application board. Board is a board that sits down when there are complaints and so on. And then there is now that what I'm saying about that objection. Objection is the best time to buy the land, because now that land that you are sure now there is nobody who is claiming it. Okay, are we together? And from there, all the reports are taken to the road for title. So the best time to buy any piece of land in an education section is when we are doing objection. Because from there, they are objection stage. That's the best time to buy land in an education section. Because that time you are sure that from there, all the documents are being taken to a lobby or title. Are we together? Now, we also, I would like to encourage you, before you buy any lands, for example, please visit a land office before you get it. Because that's where people get crowded. They are not aware of what's happening. So always make a point of visiting the lands office or something. Exactly what you're doing. Now, I just want to take you through that. I don't want to bore you with the processes of education, but in case you want, I will give you my number and you can call me anytime. Now, why should you invest in marine? Maybe that's also what I should talk about. You know, marine, first of all, you can see we have transport, communication, it's perfect. What do you think? We have just at the international airport, just come in. And anytime, I used to work in Meru before I came over. And when I was coming over, everybody was telling me, that is very far. That's very far. But I came to reason with them that when I was driving to Meru, I would take like 4 hours to get to Meru. Where and there. But here in Mali, I just take 1 hour. 1 hour. And I'm so fresh, I can even go and do other things after that. So I think Malini should have been producing. Yeah. So it's because of international airport, I think shortest place currently. Okay. So if you are in Nairobi, it's very easy to come to Malini. Very good. You also realize that run for developers is really available in Malini, isn't it? Very available. You also realize it's very cheap. Okay, let me not say cheap, but relatively reasonably cheap. I think these are also very big advantage about being in Malindi. Also, there is no congestion. Don't you think it's a very good place? You just move, there is no congestion. You go to other areas, they are very congested, isn't it? Also, the weather is very nice, especially when you want to feel good and release tension. Please come and invest in Marine. I know you may have very many questions. I'll wait for the questions because I believe this, I could not really get what I want you to understand, but you have to guide me by your questions because these are very wide topic. That's the way topic. And I have touched the areas that I know investors might be most interested in. That's my own, what I thought best. And that's why I just mentioned that those areas that I really think you should know on issues of RAD in especially this area, difficult. So I don't have much time to waste for you. Now, let me give me time. If any questions, I'll be like, I'll be on the answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. And I'm sure there will be a lot of questions to follow during the panel discussion. I think again we'll go easy on ourselves. It's not going to be the dance, really. You know, I think I overpromised. It's not going to be the dance, but just now we are inviting onto the stage Roger Scharo and Lawrence. These are gentlemen from KEOP, the project that Christine Wanjira was speaking about. And they're going to give us a spoken word and just a testimony of their journey. So are they around, Rogers and Lawrence, if you're around? Thank you.
Lawrence Hunter, medium student. Psychological students, katika shule ya Dips. Vijana kwa wanafunzi kutokana na daily institutes watu wanaajiri mimi kama msimamizi wa mambo ya umeme huko kama mnavyoniona mimi hata kama mtu wa stima mahali popote pale unaenda ukiona hii ni jina yangu. Kuna mwenzangu
katika mwanzo wa sinema, mimi Lawrence nashughulika na sekta ya kilimo biashara katika DSHU. Hapo ndipo tunampata mzee mmoja ambaye anatusaidia mambo mengi sana. Nipende niendelee baada ya kukaribisha mwenzangu.
ya Phoenix Institute psychopedagogician katika town tunadinda ukifika unafanya kazi Diaspora hudumu nikafanya kazi unapojiona ni vijana mkipita mchapa kazi na hivi unapojiona nafanya kama administration department tunachapa hivi
Now, na vile nikimtaja apite mbele yetu na madawa tumuone ni Kevin Kirabu. Apite mbele yetu kila mmoja akate kumwona akiwa ni Sylvia ya Makida. Asante sana Mr. David Kirabu.
Kupambana na vijana watano wakiwa katika shamba ya Viriko wakipambana na ukulima wa mananasi. Hapo hapo vijana hao wakiwa hapa sio karibu vile sana hawakuweza kufika, tutapambana vile tutakuwa nao kesho katika
Shukrani kwa vile amekuja kupambana na
Uchechole.
huyo, shukrani yote inaambia ni mwisho wa sinema na tunawalika wote jijini Maraba. Leo hapa ni Mega.
Wow. Let's give them a huge clap. Who say that plumbers cannot entertain, that people with like cultural skills, cannot come and make you laugh? But, it's a multi-talented youth that Helps is dealing with, and it's just great to see that coming to life on this stage, and you can imagine what's happening active on the ground. Great to have them here. And so at this point, we'll have our next session, which is a panel discussion. And as the gentleman helped me here, I'll just get a list. So I'm just going to ask our panelists to come to the front and take their place on the stage for our next session. It's going to be a session on proximity point, all questions, proximity point, anything to do with the various subject matter areas that these speakers are well versed in, and so we take it from there. So our first panelist is Professor Lucas. I think he'll come in just a short time, and then we've got Dr. David Ibu. If you just join us on the stage, please. We also have Dr. Kamal. If you'll come up and join us, panelists here. Do we have Advocate Tonya in the house? Advocate Tonya. Bates. And then we also have from Lima International, Juliana Lucy. You can join us, please, on the stage at this point. Thank you very much. I think we are still waiting on Professor Lucas, but I think we'll kick it off. At this point, I just go directly to questions we may have. We have Dr. Kamal and is spoken on the land issues. We've got Juliana, yes, and again we've got Dr. David. I think we'll just start by them giving us 3 minutes introduction of who they are, the subject matter area, so that can also jog our minds in terms of questions that we can bring forward. So maybe 2 minutes introduction.
David Kibuku, I'm an industrialist from Atlanta, Georgia. I also live here. I run a company called ACE Online Academy. I'm looking for funding from Christine and others. Thank you.
My name is Julian Mutusi from Lima, WTS, that is based in the USA. And we have extended our services here in Africa, and that's why I'm here to form strategic partnership with you. Yeah, in areas related to renewable energy, solar, yeah, and green water, cooking, and anything related to renewable energy. Thank you.
Okay, how are you? Yeah, James, Dr. James Kamal. Mine is just to, once I give people status in this county, I want to see development. And therefore, by the end of the day, when we do all what we do, or when the government invests so much in terms of trying to give every Kenyan their next aims, it aims as saying the already did development in those areas. Therefore, you're most welcome. Come and be together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that. And so we'll just go straight to any questions that we have for our panelists. Any questions? Anybody? Thank you so much. Mike, over to you.
There's a question here.
Thank you very much. My name is Maurice. And I have a question to Dr. Poma.
Yeah.
So there was a way some time back that the Kenya government is going to digitalize the land registration, and that was going to start from somewhere from 001, whatever. And so what we get as public was that if you have not registered your land or you have not got your title deed by a certain period of time, then you may be overtaken by banks when they start rolling out that digital registration. My question is, where are we in terms of that digital registration? Number one, and number two, for some cases, I hear a little bit of the proximity here, and maybe a lot of other public members also. The time frame that it takes the Kenyan government to process this type of deeds, is it something we can count on a time frame, or they just whatever time they have and to process it? Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me say, we have something called ADSASA. ADSASA is a government program to register all title deeds in Kenya to be digital. So what happened? What happened was that we have started with Nairobi. You know, when you are doing a project of this month, you have to start some. So that you know how the weaknesses, the strength you're going to have before you spread to the rest of the country. So right now, we have the arts application and it started Nairobi now. So we are coming over to every region in this country. We are from there, we are supposed to go to Jacques, Yahoo, Rang, and Kajian. That's how we are spreading out. Because you cannot, you know, when you are doing those things, decision, you hold people somehow, because now there are things you cannot transact on that. So we have to go slowly and by numbers, those things. So but we have started with developing, but also we learn how the weaknesses we have and our strengths. So that from there we can roll out the so
Are we gonna pay something?
no. This is free, and I think this is conception that you are not even supposed to be there in the first place. Because the government has all your records. So it is using its records. It says, well, for us. So we are not even controlling. Yeah, something, all you have to do is come, you go on your internet and you try to attach your alarm. So by the end of the day, you are not, this is not your work. Actually, this is government, this government alone. So anybody telling you that you will be lazy, I don't think that's true. The government do the rolling notes and it puts every dime in that system. I hope that's okay. So what else would be? Now, the other question you have asked me is the land payment. It's not that I didn't want to take you that boring process of but that is why it takes some time. There are very many cases that come out when we are doing the educational work. And that's why I told you about a community stage and about a community stage. That community stage is when we are doing education and subject. So there are cases which are already wiped out and they're sorted out there. That at that stage. Then there is another one, again, other cases that come up during the application board, the one that we talk about. That's now when again other cases which are already existing, we come on and they have to sort it out. Your area of influence on demarcation on now on community. And you are going to finish that area. Going to finish. There is Okada, there is Adu Kumare, we are finishing up, and Adu Kumare. You know, all the 3 areas are left, the whole of this area of Makari. And once I believe by May, everything will be through. We will not have an education in the Makari or in apartment from the southern the but we are working hard to make sure we have seconds. We have already done so many, we have done very, very short time. So I am confident that this in very, very cases that we are going to finish by the day. Thank you so much.
I know the panel is not supposed to ask questions, but maybe a very specific diaspora question is where are the title in status for proximity point city? For the people who have bought land in proximity. Is that in adjudication, tail end? Where is it exactly?
I think you are not understanding another thing. I say that area is now on stage. And I say that from there, if there are no applications for competition, once competitions are done, we take the potential. So I was saying by May, everything good. We are going to do the focus. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
I'm not sure whether you're talking proximity or the whole county.
That's fine. It's okay. It's the same.
Same.
Yeah.
And sorry, I think we were supposed to be joined by 2 members from the bank so that they can also help to answer people who want to ask questions, because I think at this stage, I'm sorry, the panel started when I was away, but it's just to answer anything related to development and things like that.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, and thank you for that very straightforward answer about land, especially proximity to land. And thank you again, our panelists, those joining and those that have been there. Any other questions may have? And just as we, okay. That's over here.
There's one thing, what kind of solar is the issue?
Thank you so much for that question. Maybe you can just start, right? Thank you. Yes, so we have some advancements in technology regarding renewable energy, that is specifically solar. And our products are unique from the conventional one. So one, our system, they usually track sun. They usually follow sun from morning to evening, and that increases efficiency by 40% from the conventional one. So one system will produce at 12 kilowatt hour, and you find that because of the efficiency factors that is tracking, they will increase the power production. You find that there is usually maximum peak and the minimum peak. So when you compare with the conventional solar system, the reason why most of the people play a good solar system because they are not that efficient. So you go to the market, get a solar panel, but it's not giving you enough power, or it is not serving you efficiently the way you want to in the market or the way you want to perform. So we are trying to advance coming up with tracking mechanisms, tracking technology that now it's locate the sun and then increasing now the efficiency of our systems. Second of all, we usually use bifacial panels. Bifacial, it means that most of the conventional ones usually white at the back. You've seen solar panels. So for us, they usually, as they track sun, there is more power production from both the front part and the rear part. And then this one comes with everything that you need for power. There are batteries, so one system can store up to, that is the lead package that we have. It has batteries that can store up to 8 kilowatt hour that can be used at night. I know most of the people are not, maybe some of the people are not that technical, but 8 kilowatt hour is like 8 units of PLC power. So you find that this one can be used in a large home. If it's at night, you use storage for night application. Then this one, the lead package produces 14 kilowatt hours. That one is like 14 units of PLC power. So that one can be used to support large appliances, like large homes. Can be used in schools. Right now we have installed in schools here in Kenya. That one is in Kajiado County. We have South Sudan. We have different countries in Africa trying to fund our impact. And it comes with everything that you need for power. The inverters, charge controls. When you go to the market, what you do is that you get different components separately. This one we have tried to get the components that complement, the components that like you don't have to use a panel with a wrong, appliance or wrong components. And we try to, after the installation, take you through in training. And one interesting thing is that it is mobile application enabled. Right now we are moving with the world in technology. And You see, you can be here in Malindi, or Rob might be in the US or in Nairobi, and the systems are here in proximity city. So he can be able to monitor the performance of these systems. He can be able to control remotely. You can switch off, switch on these systems just using a mobile application. These are technological advancements. You can see the history of the performance of your system. You can see the amount of power that you've produced today, you've produced for the whole of that month, and see and calculate the costs or the savings that you've made by using our solar systems. So those are some of the advances that you've done in Lima Power. But there is also solar farm, which is an add-on application. So for this one, we are trying to contribute to food security in coming up with the most reliable system in pumping. Because right now, when you compare the return on investment for the people that are using diesel generators and solar pumps, for the ones that are using solar pumps, it is usually cost effective. You don't have to spend on diesel, you don't have to spend on gasoline every now and then. So we have come up with these advancements, and we try now to come up with a strategic partnership. That's the reason why I'm here. We are partners of Power Africa USAID. We are members of Africa Mini Grid Developers Association, and we are members of Google, and we are contributing to the Kenya's Vision 2030 on renewable energy. So work with Lima, and it will be our pleasure to be part of proximity city. Thank you so much. There are more.
Let's give it down for Julian. I think that's amazing. Yeah, so just before Sylvester takes off, I just wanted a connection between what Julian has said, myself and Dr. How the factory where this is manufactured in Sota. Actually, we are manufacturing on the way.
Yeah, it is on the way.
It's arriving. So
Yeah.
I already have one that's coming straight to Marafa. So those who are watching, I think what for me is amazing about this system is that it does more than what your ordinary solar panel solar system can. In that, it can do freezing. So for those who are in farming and want to store your production overnight before it goes to the market, and there is no green power, that happens. You've talked about pumping.
Exactly.
What I wanted to see more different from anything else is talk about. This institute is about creating well-being. And most of the places where we train the young people are the most vulnerable places. What we structure is and the proximity. That's ACE proximity in Lima, is to set up small business centers where our young people that are already being trained can operate. We've heard of the mobile, the connectivity, we've heard of the ability in farming, but more than that, light. At the moment where you go, most of the things solar because the climate is still not there. So what we are doing with Lima is to set up a factory here where we're producing all those products locally. So we cut the cost of importing. We train our young people to be able to do all that. So I really want to appreciate. Thank you for making it. Julian missed our prayer this morning. So in the morning, that's so nice to be able to.
Thank you.
And also,
Thank you.
before I go, we are also looking at opportunities to partner with banks so that those people who want to acquire these equipment can be able to be advanced in asset finance and things like that, and then just pay over a period of time. So these are discussions that are already in progress, because once the factory is there,
Sure.
Thank you so much, Professor Lucas, and thank you so much, Juliana. We have a question right there.
Good afternoon. So in irrigation, when you look at our solar pumps, they have a vertical head of between 100 meters to 300 meters. So I can explain about that. So for any source of water that has a depth of below 100 meters, or it doesn't surpass 300 meters, we can support that. So and this solar pump, we have partnered up with Grandpath company. So Grandpath company supplies us with these solar pumps, and then we integrate them in our system. And for example, for a solar pump that has a vertical head of 100 meters, it can pump up to 40,000 liters of water per day. And that one can be used to see, like you can store, and then you can use this one for irrigation. We are coming up with also a technology whereby you can monitor how irrigation is being done, how like the performance of this solar pump. You can see how the controlled water, how the plants are taking in water. It is a controlled irrigation system. So you don't have to, have someone in the field to check every now and then, like the performance of the solar pumps or the irrigation and everything. You just check and see how it is performing. But overall, for the solar pumps, they are most powerful. You can check the Grandpath, but the vertical head is from 100 meters to 300 meters. And then they can pump up to 40,000 liters of water for storage to get used now in irrigation. Yeah.
Maybe a quick question, a comment maybe. I went, as the prof said, I went to see the factory, sort of really excited. Was number one is proximity, as we are buying, whoever is investing and buying pieces of land here, is that we have the opportunity to buy these units even in the bushes where the grid has not reached there, so we can power our house, we can do the irrigation, and internet, etc. So that's a good thing there. I think the point about the youth and the possible entrepreneurship opportunities are there. So that is amazing. And then for my 8 people, I'm thinking about Jane Betty, who serves she's got a ministry in Masai Land. Borehole digging, wanting to serve the community, they have to walk however many miles, they don't have any electricity. So having a solar panel there, I think will serve that community. And so really the question is, what is you kind of mentioned the size and how many people it can serve, but can you have a little rural community, for example, where you have a community center, you've got a school, you've got irrigation, and so on. So maybe just give us a few of that.
Exactly. We can set up a mini grid. Our systems are designed in such a way that you can increase the number of panels. That one is you can increase the power production. You can also increase the number of batteries. That is, you can increase storage of the power that is being produced during the day. So it means that we can set up a mini grid that can serve the whole community, a mini grid that can support, schools, the healthcare, any institution that is in that community, and also for farming. So it can also be used in any application for solar. We can set up a mini grid and serve it efficiently, effectively. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. We just had our panelists as well from ABSA, and we just give them time to introduce themselves, probably answer some of the questions that have been there, or even add more information to the use of that.
Thank you very much. Like I said earlier, my name is Mary Gabbard. I'm in charge of business banking for ABSA for the Coast region. So when we say business banking, this means the, not the corporate, but the SMEs and the, the ones, the tier just below the corporates. And that's where the bulk of, the business in Kenya. As we know, SMEs is the backbone not only of Kenya, but actually the world over. And just to the point raised by Lima is that we're also very big in agribusiness as a bank. We're probably one of the few remaining banks who still have an agricultural specialist working in the bank. You know, many banks have done away with that role, but we're very strong on that. We actually have 2 resources who are full-time agri specialists sitting in Nairobi. And of course, we've been big on horticulture. We are going big on tea as well. And we're very excited about proximity and the agribusiness opportunities that therein lies. On the pineapple processing, the cashew, the mango that will be coming. And also part of the bank's responsibility as per the CBK guidelines on sustainability is that we as a bank have to, there's a quota, there's some goals we have to meet, you know, imposed, you know, by the regulator on all banks on how we have to lend a certain portion of our funding to sustainability development projects. So therein we come. We're very excited that Lima is partnering on this, and we're happy to have these discussions, you know, as we go forward. And as proximity picks up, and like our colleague who spoke earlier, who spoke about asset finance, where we are able to fund contractors for machinery, serialized machinery. This is something we do very easily. If you have to import this machinery from abroad, we're able to facilitate that. We're able to issue letters of credit if there's a need for that. We're able, once the machine reaches here, we now convert that facility to a term loan, you know, maybe 5 to 7 years. And you know, you're able to pay with your cash flow. So just to mention how we're able to partner with proximity in that regard. Thank you.
So afternoon, everybody. This is again Laura Chimut. I'm myself, branch manager Malindi. All are just included to what Mary has said. Once we have agreed to package all the products, then the branch level that is there. And the transaction. So for me, I want to welcome each and every one of you as we start with journey of partnership, as we have illustrated before. It's good to meet your partners that are here, and we hope to also do business with them, not just you. I know you've already started with us, so I'd like to see is Lima come on board, and some of you who are here. So I can what I know we've had some of yourselves raise issues with Diaspora. I hope we've at least answered part of it, and now that we're going into the portal, that you take our contacts. I will give mine so that just for the since I know the investment projects are happening in my best that you have my contact so that in case of any you want to start a journey with us, I will be probably the contact person to reach out. So the name is Laura Cheriot. I'll give my telephone number 0721 28 31 08. So you can either reach me on WhatsApp or mobile number for those who are living in the diaspora. Then email AXA is LORA dot PHERUIYOT.AXA.Africa. I hope I was not too fast. So I just want to appreciate each of you for making time. And it's not my session, we just partnered sponsorship with the prof, but I want to appreciate you for coming. Just before we leave, I want to request that you pass by our, we have a small token of appreciation for the people who are here. I know some people have, we have to give it later on, give to them. Thank you very much.
Okay, and my number, my name is Mary Gabbard. My surname is G-A-R-B-U-T-T. My number is 0722 820 884. The email is mary.garbut@absa.africa. And just to carry on this, we cannot workshop what we're able to offer. You know, we probably need a way. But just to let you know, we are one of the strongest SME banks in the country. We've actually been recognized by the head of state in a recent forum. We have one of the strongest propositions, especially for women in business, where we're giving unsecured lending. So please reach out to me and we can have a discussion on that. We have many programs on the SME side. We also do we don't just give financing. We do networking sessions for the members. We do webinars where we speak not just about financing. We were speaking the other day about menopause, that affect women, in life, and many people never have that conversation. And we as a bank are taking, what are the topical issues? What are the issues that affect real people in real life at this stage in their lives? And we have those sessions where we teach about branding, not just financial terms. On top of that, we do network sessions, and also we facilitate. We are able to facilitate for people who are exporting abroad. We're able to have we have some contact points where we're able to help you get market. So it's a whole lot of conversation, not able to workshop it here, but please reach out to us and we can carry on that conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, actually, our panelists for rounding up that session really well for us. We'll encourage you to have a one-on-one chat. I did that yesterday evening with one of the colleagues, and there are certain things that you get to know when you're just sit with one-on-one, to discuss an issue that is best suited for you as a person. So yes, the book is out there. Please go and pass by. At this point, I want to thank you, our panelists, for all this and the you're giving in terms of just making sure we have the right knowledge in all this. So thank you so much. Let's clap for our panelists again. And I'll just welcome Professor Lucas to finish this conference.
Let's give a mighty hand clap to Mr. President so well in that last session. I think it's done fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the time now 5 o'clock. Those who follow the program, we know that we have promised by time. We're going to do this session. And outside this compound, beautiful bus waiting for you. After interaction, everybody must show that they've gotten their buses and the keys for the bus and take us out. What has happened there? What has happened there? Okay, and I'm being told before you get into the bus, take the keys, you have an kilometer in the bus, you've not taken the key, where the measure you have to come back. So please make sure you enjoy the tea that you prepared for me. So I was asking what has happened there. It's always good to take stock of events like this because you can become a conference enthusiast and attend many conferences but not get the maximum benefit. So as a conference organizer, I've done this for over 20 years now. I always like to see impact. I like to see action points. I like to see transformation. This morning, we started our conference by hearing an address from the Minister of Agriculture here in the county, who very well and ably gave us a very clear vision of the county and the opportunities that are in this county. He didn't just see the vision, he also gave illustration. And yes, they made sure they are not going to talk about things that are not seen. So they took me on Monday, said, want to go and show you what we are going to say. So I went and saw the investment that this county has done in agribusiness. They're preparing almost 10,000 acres already. What is prepared, 1,000 acres with the irrigation systems ready for people to partner with the local community and develop their business and their agribusiness. We also had the Minister of Trade, Honorable Gala, who gave us a very expansive opportunity on what is happening in the trade and industry in the country. It was so clear and obvious that this is the country to join and the country to participate in because of the vastness of its coastal exposure, its beaches, its marine life, its agribusiness potential, its mining potential, not to mention all the other things that you can say. So surely the government has opened doors for us, and that's what I was saying, that we have an amazing opportunity to engage the government. After that, we got an industrialist called Dr. Brian Mackenzie, whom also I had a privilege to visit his factory, which we have built from scratch. And it was just demonstrating to us that it is possible, very possible, to set our pineapple factory, our mango factory, our cassava factory, our soap factory using the salt that is locally available and many other food. We also had from Dr. David Bidugu, and we saw practically what he has done with ACE accelerators, most of whom are around, and he challenged us to participate and engage with these business startups which are already on the ground. We had from Johnson Cash about ESGs. I say to you, we missed so many opportunities in the past. Some of them we had no choice, we had no control, but today I can tell you we all have an opportunity. We have a wonderful opportunity for environmental, social, corporate governance funding, because we are the people who have had the receiving end of climate change. So Johnson Touch was able to well elaborate how we can participate and benefit from these funds. We had a panel discussion. I will not say much about that. It was an amazing panel discussion. The highlight was the APSA regional director of APSA Bank, who gave the opportunity to have the bank, and the other members of families who are able to describe opportunities that we have and engagement. In the afternoon, we were so privileged to have the James come out to explain things that I did not understand fully. I've been spending more time with him, but terminologies I want to know. But what impressed me is that when we started the proximity point journey, and it's worth saying this now, I went and shared with him the mission. And I told him the land that we are about to buy. And he said, no, that one might be contested. And then I went and looked again and said, no, that one is not contested. And if you get that, you are 100% sure everything will be okay. And then while I was in this office, another friend of mine, also from the diaspora, was sitting in the car, and he was fuming because people had invaded his land, and he didn't know what to do. So when he walked out, the captain told me, if you guys from the diaspora, you just go and start anywhere, and when you get problems, you come to us. We can't help you. But if you start in the government offices and make sure you're doing things right at the first time, then if you have a problem, we can help you, because we can tell where the problem is happening. So we're so privileged to have you along because we have been holding our hands and we can see progress. So every harvest, I made sure that I bring at least one pineapple for you to remember that he brought us in the right very good time. Yeah. We also had from our dear sister Christine. The reason I call her a dear sister, because she's sister in vision. One of the major reasons that have made me come back to Kenya, or I'm coming back to Kenya, is the youth. All what I'm doing because of our Kenyan youth. And when I got involved in this one project called the Kenya Youth Ability Opportunity Program, the people that I met there, Christine, one of the very senior. We have impacted, as you saw the numbers, and the young people who are doing the skit here are just a few of so many. Every out of all the counties mentioned, everywhere I go now, they call me that. I have so many people, instead of even calling their own parents or calling their relatives, if they see them, and I'm not just talking about money, maybe counsel or guidance, you call me and they have the confidence. She gave a very clear opportunity, which I've already been sharing with the diaspora, that we can give you these young people, you can partner with them. We can even help you in your farm. We can help you in other areas. Some of them have done business electrical. And so Madam Christine raised very good issues. I know there are questions that people have wanted to ask her, and she's going to be around with us today and tomorrow, and you can feel free to ask further questions. It's been an amazing day with Julian,
worked briefly. Her team in the United States, right there, very engaged with another gas expert, yeah, so she gave a very good presentation, and personally, we have engaged with me. We have been lobbying for the factory to come which has now been agreed, and we are now marketing the already got 300 interested buyers on the same product, which is a product that sells itself. It's been an amazing day. I want to recognize all our guests, both from the diaspora, who made this event happen, our bankers. Then I want to recognize David Mugai, backing us in equity. And thank you very much for being here all day. KCB Bank is our young, thank you very much for taking your time to be part of this great event. I want to acknowledge also the standing investment banker, standing in line here founded a bank. It's also doing very well. I'm not going to talk a lot about it. We were not promoting our bank this time, but when we were sitting here, Central Bank just authorized us to do something new. We are not going to tell you this because other big banks are here, and we don't want to be the competition. So I just want to conclude acknowledging the history and the fantastic work we've done. I want to thank Marianne, who was helping to coordinate in the background. I want to thank my team, Julia, David, Gerardo, Michael, Felix, Lawrence, and Lord staff. Thank you very much for all that you have done. This is not the end of our day. This is just the beginning. Because today we are doing the theory, tomorrow to do the practice. We have some amazing t-shirts that will make it easy for you. Because if you come the way you are tomorrow, when you will be very confident. So if you want to buy a t-shirt there, and also identify you because it's very easy to get missing the crowd and get lost. So if you get our t-shirt outside there, a proximity point t-shirt is on sale and and so tomorrow morning we gather outside the car park of this hotel, which is at the tropical, and the same coach, or maybe two coaches, depending on how many people want to go. They're going to take us and go and explore that which we've been talking about and practically indulge in the beauty and the sweetness of the land. There will be yam, there will be pineapples, many other things, all organic, all locally grown, proximity point. So it's exciting once again to have you tonight, to have this day. Thank you for your patience. You can see some okay happy. I'll just acknowledge one person who left. I'd like to be interested in the joining of the Highlands, Kenya Highland Camp or Highland Camp. There's a lot of interest there in all that we're going to when it comes to pineapple. Got a massive order, and that's opening. We also have a visit this week on Sunday. Israel has also come to say, I'm looking for this product for 10 years. This is the place to grow in perfect kind of condition. So opportunities are great, and we are all going to. The Lord richly bless you. Those who don't know that my other career, minister of the region and official, so pray for them and bless you. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for your love, for your grace and mercy. We thank you for the success and the radiance you've given to us. We thank you for the volumes of knowledge and information that we have acquired. We thank you for the cohesion between the diaspora and the local community, the national government and county government, the various branches in the space, the various bishops, the speakers from different calibers in the world of life. It was so seamless. There were no mistakes, there were no criticisms. Father, we want to thank you because only you can do things that way and just make us feel. We want to thank you for this hotel.
that was so good and so kind to us in the whole process, so accommodating and so supportive. We want to thank you for our media team that made sure that anybody who wanted to join from wherever they want, they had the opportunity to participate, engage, and benefit from the conference, and that our children and our children's children and children will be able to see this. And when they are walking in this big city, driving cars that will be built in proximity, eating food that will be grown organically, enjoying the leisure and entertainment facility, learning in our own university, working in our own factory, innovating and producing worldwide cutting-edge products. Father, thank you. We want to worship you because of the beauty of the presence. We want to thank you because of the joy of serving you. Now, Father, as we declare this city officially launched, and as we go to the field tomorrow, we pray that you go with us, give us vision, give us direction, protect us from any challenges, accidents, and danger. And as our friends and visitors, beautiful city of Adelaide, as the coach driver showed them the highlights, Father, may they find truth and peace. Thank you. Thank you for giving us a beautiful day and a wonderful day. Thank you for giving us amazing life. For the leaders in the prayer. It's missing very the children prophets and those who like to come. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello, Dr. Shiri, yes. Dr. Shiri,
Okay.
yes.
Hello,
Good, sir.
Prof. I wanted to thank you.
Yes. Okay, we have of AIDS from the US, just giving the last, not AIDS, of Global One Voice Consortium. Just saying a final one. Okay, Dr. Shiri, just one.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to express the diaspora's happiness in the beginning of our proximity city and this symposium. We followed all the proceedings throughout the day, and we continue to pray that you all be blessed in what you're doing. And we are very much in supportive of what has taken place. So continue to have that vision and goals of proximity city. The diaspora is in full support. And Professor Lucas, we continue to pray that God continues to give you wisdom as you direct this project together with the members of the board. Thank you very much. That's all I had to say. Asanteni sana.
Just before you go, some of you have reminded us that Dr. James Kamau had offered to give his number for any support, so it's really out for us. Thank you.
Sorry, the number. My number is 0722. Are you ready? 84 1025. 0722. 84 1025. And my email, personal email, all my names, James Kamau at gmail.com. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Doctor. That is the person to talk to about land. Don't make any major decision or rash decision without consulting. Thank you very much, Dr. Shiri, for staying with us all through, and all the other people who are online. Thank you for participation and engagement, and we hope that you all have a progress.
I've also been reminded that I didn't mention the time tomorrow morning. We will leave at the car park of the hotel at 9 a.m.